Hello, friends, and welcome back to Riptide. I am Popgun, joined by the .jpg himself. JPEG, the game came out 12 hours ago. And yes, we are playing a tournament already.
That's right, Popgun. The Splatoon 3 just came out, and we are so eager to get into a new game finally that we're running a tournament the day of release here, not only online, but in person here in Sandusky, Ohio at the wonderful Kalahari Resorts.
Yes, we want to spoil ourselves early by playing Splatoon on LAN, which we know is a completely different game from playing online. Tent umbrellas are going to actually work. Some of the other weapons that we've seen in the test fire, or that we didn't get to see in the test fire, are available right now as well. So there's going to be a lot of jank, I guess is a fair word to say for what's going on today. But yes, we didn't want to waste any time. The game was out. Why not play it? And there's going to be a lot of seeing what's going to happen today. But I don't really know what to expect.
There's going to be a lot of learning.
Do you have the game yet?
I have the game. I played about 2 matches, and then I'm just like, I'm going to bed.
Because you were actual to play all the way through it, like without DC and
I got to play a couple matches, surprisingly, on hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people did experience some disconnects last night. But
so basically, most people downloaded it last night, and people were rushing to get through to play it as soon as midnight hit. But we're all on the hotel Wi-Fi, which causes some interesting issues with staying in lobbies. Now, you had to actually do that. You had to play one game, because in order to get into private battle, you had to be at least level 2. So you had to win one turf war game, or I think lose 2. So you had to find some way to get through to even be eligible to play in this tournament that all these teams signed up for. So
not eligible. You can just play with Junior, but
that's true. Starter gear, okay, so if you want to win this tournament today, here's what you had to do. First off, you need to get gear, which gives you, if you got gear and your opponent doesn't, you have an insane advantage. Now, you probably don't have like the ideal gear setup that you may be comfortable with in Splatoon 2 or something like that, but it's just better to have something versus nothing, which some of these players, I'm assuming, have. I bought the game, so there was we had a little, we called it a parking, blacktop brunch this morning. We camped out in front of the local Best Buy, and some people brought some muffins and donuts and orange juice and stuff like that. There was like a good 30 of us there.
Wow.
And we all just went in and got the game. Like, as soon as the doors opened, it was cool. There's a Best Buy employee who just like took pictures of us from the door and waved at us. Like, why are there people waiting to get into our store on a Friday afternoon or Friday morning? But so a lot of us got a copy of the game. I haven't played it yet. I'm assuming, from what I know, you can start off the game with a handful of weapons if you have experience in Splatoon 2, like save data in Splatoon 2.
Right. You can transfer in 3 weapons. If you're level 2, you can transfer in any of the 3 weapons that are available in the game right now. So basically, most teams right now are picking comfort picks. I don't think anyone's going to choose anything too different, because there's such a limited weapon pool for each player.
Yeah, and there's a couple of weapons that everybody wants to try out at some point. The Splatana, which for competitive, didn't look that impressive in the test fire.
Right.
The Stringer, which needs a lot more labbing out in order to figure out where that thing has its place in the competitive scene. We did see the Splatana in the Nintendo tournament on Monday. We didn't see the Stringer at all, and I don't think that's because the Stringer's necessarily bad. It's just those players are in the mindset of, this is our only chance to win the first tournament, so let's not mess around. Let's just do the gal weapons that we're kind of used to using. So yeah, I think we're going to see Stringer at some point today on stream. But if you want to win this tournament, I think it's just going to be the bread and butter gal nonsense squad shooter thing that we're kind of used to seeing. Just because, like you said, that's what people are comfortable with.
Right. And this is the first Splatoon 3 tournament that's at least open to the public mostly, that being a LAN.
Asterix. First Splatoon tournament.
But yeah, I don't blame the teams for picking comfort picks. This is your chance.
You're trying to win.
You can only win the first grassroots Splatoon 3 tournament once. This is the only chance you got here. So everyone's going to pick what they're familiar with. And yeah, I don't blame them. And like you said, we might see some other weapons like Tri-Stringer and the Splatana, but generally the consensus is they have a higher skill curve, or maybe I'm using that, higher skill ceiling. The Stringer I've seen be used well, but most people maybe aren't as good with it yet.
Well, I mean, again, it's just the place of the string. Where's the Stringer fit into whatever the meta of this game is going to be is yet to be determined. The Splatana is just, I mean, that sucker needs some help. We're going to go crazy if we see any hammer kills on stream today as well. I've seen so many clips.
So we're not going to go crazy.
Somebody died to it, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of meta, so far, most people can agree that the Tacticooler seems to be one of the best competitive specials.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of those. And when I was watching some games last night in my room, almost every team had at least one Tacticooler being deployed all the time.
Yeah, it seems like NZAP is going to be a requirement for competitive.
Once again,
initially, until well, now again, it's you keep this in mind. The game that we're playing today is going to be completely different a few weeks from now, maybe a month from now, whenever they do the first patch that's going to come out. The assumption is going to be that Cooler's going to, well, we could assume anything. They keep buffing Splattershot and Splatoon 2, so who knows? But we know things are going to change. So this will be an interesting case study. If you're 5 years in the future and you're looking back at what the first tournament was like, and you're wondering, wow, why are they using nothing but Tacticooler? That's because from what we found out from the test fire, that sucker's pretty broken.
Yeah, I just know someone a couple years from now is looking back at this VOD and wondering,
what
are we doing? Why are we running Tacticooler? They nerfed that. No, we'll see. We'll see.
They used to think that. Well, I mean, like, Stingray at launch wasn't that great, and then they, like, the first patch, like, bumped it way up, and then they just spent, like, 6 patches slowly nerfing it back down.
Where it should be. Well, maybe it's not where it should be, but.
Well, it's gone. It's gone.
We're done.
Until tomorrow.
Doing isn't gone. Keep this on the download, Popgun. But I was watching some ranked games last night, and missiles seem to be unchanged.
Okay,
fine. But don't tell the players, because.
Okay, look. Yes, missiles got way out of control in Splatoon 2, but it's just Flingza and GooTuber.
Right.
If you use GooTuber, you should be rewarded with missiles, in my opinion. Now, Flingza, you can spam a lot of missiles with that sucker.
For sure. Gets a lot of pain up there.
And seems to be the only counter to Charger at this point. The first ever match on stream at Riptide Splatoon 3. It's going to be NoName brand taking on the Booyah Bombs, or Bayou Boomers, I should say.
Boomers.
We already got our first Splatana rearing its ugly head here.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, let's see what happens from the PSU Kraken.
that's Kraken representing.
Well, that's what his
helping
IGN
out
is.
right there. It makes sense that we're seeing the Splatana coming out from there. 2 players instantly going down by NoName brand.
Wow, already one wipeout on the side of Buoy Boomers in the yellow. Going to get a nice lead possibly off this.
What map are we on? Is this?
This is Eeltail Alley.
This is Eeltail, okay. So, like, the maps are always changing until we see what all of the modes are on. Like, just the generic layouts seem to be changing as we do see Kraken slapping somebody to death. And here we go. Are we going to see a kill?
Oh!
It happened!
There we go. Not even 1 minute.
The LAN effect. The LAN effect. The hammer actually connected on somebody.
Well, that's confirmed, everyone. The hammer does, in fact, have a hitbox attached to it.
30 points remaining before the KO is coming out as NoName brand struggling to get out of their spawn at this point. Players from the Bayou Boomers starting to push up another hammer going down, and another splat as 2 more players go down for NoName brand. And this is looking like game 1 is going to go into the favor of the Bayou, the
Buoy Boomers.
Buoy Boomers. I keep calling them the Bayou Boomers. Buoy Boomers take game 1. Well, that was quick, but hey, maybe it is the LAN effect that hammer actually connected and started getting some splats there.
For sure. You know, everything's just a theory right now. I mean, I don't think anyone knows what's going on with this game.
Well,
I mean, in fact, like, no one even knew what that map layout is. There's no way. There's no way you could have labbed that.
That could also just be the Kraken effect. Kraken being a very strong Ink Rush player in Splatoon 2, making a little bit of an adjustment there over into Splatoon 3 with the same, not the same exact weapon, but similar mindset, you know, similar kind of melee style. It doesn't have the kind of movement that you're looking for out of a brush, but that was the first time we saw that thing actually be somewhat decent.
For sure. When transferring to a new game, it's all about the mindset. I mean, I know Kraken personally, and he's always had that super hyper-aggressive, just get in everyone's face style play style. I think every player is just going to kind of trust their gut, do what they're familiar with. It's just a new game. I mean, we're going to see what happens.
Part of the new game, I'm just kind of looking at, like, I haven't even figured out how to join a private battle myself, so I'm just more interested in seeing, okay, so, like, once you leave the lobby, you go back to the little test fire range, and then you join it from there. So that's cool. Just a little quality of life features that's going on here. This is Mahi, ain't it?
This is Hagglefish Market.
This is Hagglefish Market?
Yes.
Okay, so I just saw the water and instantly thought it was Mahi. But this is tower control. That I recognize.
It's tower control. And interesting little layout. Goes way to the side of the map. Let's see if anyone falls into the water here.
X-Splosh coming out from the side of NoName brand, as well as the heavy splatling. I've seen a lot of heavy splatling being used. That wave breaker, initially I didn't think it'd be that good, but it's been used pretty heavily in the Nintendo tournament, and we've seen it already in action here at Riptide.
Yeah, and as I haven't made myself, I'm happy to see it kind of make a comeback. But yeah, what you gotta know is the wave breaker, once it marks someone, you automatically know that they're at half health. So yeah, just target that person. And oh my goodness, great hammer throw.
I feel like the Boomers are just trying to make a statement. They got double hammer, actually. And finally, that is a little bit of a delayed wipeout, but still able to jump onto the tower as we see some I wonder if they got some juice in there because they're responding back in pretty quickly, and they haven't left the NoName brand side of the map yet, even though they were mostly wiped at one point.
Right, NoName gonna pop that the rain, hopefully gonna displace Blue Boomers, but it doesn't really seem to be affecting how they push. Doing a good job trying to approach that second checkpoint.
Yeah, Jet doing a good job of staying alive, and NoName brand's really struggling with splatting all of these players on the Boomer side of the map and just keeping them away from the tower is the final checkpoint. Well, actually, no, there's still one more checkpoint that needs to go down. And you would think, okay, but still, that Sploosh player's still alive, and that's been causing a lot of issues. Finally, they got them all pushed out, and that's the end of the push. NoName brand can get back into mid here.
Yeah, NoName brand has a good amount of pain, especially with that Explode Jr. and a shot, and the Heavy's going to be a great anchor to provide jumps, but if they can just get out of this defensive rut and just start being on the offensive, I think they could make some good plays here.
Kyle Misguy staying alive as the NoName brand team is able to get back into control of mid. They have a little bit of a man advantage to work with as well. I saw the Inksuka being fired across mid. That one's going to be another special where it's a high skill ceiling if you can master it, but it's not something you can just pick up and use. It does take a little special touch to be effective with it.
I'm definitely expecting in a couple months, top players are going to be making some insane Twitter clips off that one.
Wave breaker being deployed in the middle of mid. If you don't jump over it and it connects with you, it does do a little bit of damage. So it's like a point sensor that adds some penalty to the teams that it marks as well. But right now, even though NoName brand has been able to establish control in mid, they're having, again, difficulty getting beyond that, even though they do see some players starting to pick up some splats as well.
Yeah, Kraken's just doing such a good job being aggressive. This movement, absolutely utilizing that squid roll.
I don't know if it was used effectively, but we at least saw it.
I think it's all about getting the muscle memory. A lot of people are having trouble. Right. You played Splatoon 2 so long and you haven't had this ability. But I think in a couple weeks, everyone's going to start getting a feel for it. And again, if you aren't familiar, the squid roll does give you a little bit of immunity, so it is definitely beneficial to use it.
Yeah, that's really what's going to separate the pack is the people that master that thing and don't just use it just for the heck of using it. But right now, the Boomers able to get the push going to the third and final checkpoint here as we do see more hammer nonsense. You know what? One hammer is nice, but I guess when you have two hammers, one of them is eventually going to connect.
Right. Double the hitboxes. I guess you can't go wrong.
But yeah, we were talking about that squid roll because that was the first time we saw a squid roll be used. But again, it wasn't in a situation where you think it's going to be actually effective. But yeah, like you said, that's something. As I was playing in the test fire, I just kept forgetting. Oh, right, that's a thing. That's going to be like the critical, important piece of this game is the extra added movement feature, and that's what's going to separate the great players from the elite level players. Is who really masters that extra little movement feature.
And it's not only about the immunity; it's all about the movement too. So if you're facing an opponent and you're a fast-paced frontline weapon, if you're moving around like crazy, they're not going to be able to hit you. So it's just another tool in the toolbox.
Yes, and now the squid surge is also a thing that, as an anchor player, as a charging Hydra player myself, I don't really find much use out of that. But that's going to be an interesting thing to see as well, is who can use that effectively other than just for the sake of using squid surge, shooting up the wall. But again, a lot of people still in the mindset of Splatoon 2, not really thinking outside of the box of how you can use these things effectively. I've saw some clips on Twitter of people like dodge rolling with the dualies and then like Mario 64 jumping off of walls and shooting people in the back of the head. So like there's a lot of extra depth to things that we can be seeing going on here. But
the potential's high. We just haven't seen anyone execute it yet.
The Boomers looking to end this one with a 3-0 sweep. This is Hammerhead.
And Hammerhead's been a little controversial. There's been a
Rainmaker
lot of changes.
Hammerhead. What do you mean controversial?
Well, there's been a lot of changes from
Hammerhead was
Splatoon 1.
bad. Yeah. Hammerhead in Splatoon 1 was horrible.
Well, people are debating this one's even worse. So we'll see.
Well,
we'll see how this sticks around.
Giant catwalk going down mid. But this is Rainmaker. Rainmaker's completely different from Splatoon 2. Even though we're using a Splatoon 1 map as well. So there's a couple of different pedestals that you got to take it to. No, there's one set of pedestals you can take it to first, and then the main one opens up. And we're probably going to see that right now as the Boomers are taking their stab into crossing the first checkpoint.
And once you hit that checkpoint, you're going to have to repop the Rainmaker from that position. So it helps slow down what was originally a very volatile mode where you could KO instantly.
The 2v4 situation, able to throw down the Rainmaker and clear that checkpoint. And that's really what separates this from the Splatoon 2 one. Before, if you got wiped, the game was over. But these extra checkpoints makes it a little bit more forgiving if you're if you'll fall a little bit behind on defense, which it looks like NoName brand might be doing right here after they just got wiped out.
Yeah, and that tactical is going to help speed up everyone and be even more aggressive than they already have been. But
the Rainmaker can pick that up.
Oh, can it? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it gives you extra. So, like, again, tactical is just going to be a requirement for competitive going forward. Hammer getting pushed up right there. It gets two players with the splat right there. Is Kraken yet again able to create some space for that Rainmaker to go up. Seth picks it up, trying to get the dunk. It's taken care of. Man advantage in the favor of NoName brand as they're trying to defend and prevent this this KO from landing.
NoName brand has an opportunity to take back mid, get that paint under control, and hopefully make an offense soon. But Buoy Boomer's going to have two on the left side there and doing a good job pairing up to make sure they win their fights.
You know, one thing I kind of noticed in the Nintendo tournament, same here, is that we're not getting the same kind of KAs that are put on display, so it's hard to tell what kind of players are popping off or who's popping the most specials. But you're going to see the action. All these players for the Boomers have just been swarming. It's just been a complete team effort to just kind of dominate right now. Jet doing a great job, Kraken kind of leading the way, and once again, the Rainmakers threatened to be KO'd. That's just the perfect place to be putting the juice there.
It really is, because keep in mind, it also is unbreakable. It provides kind of a shield, so the Rainmaker can sit behind it and be safe.
NoName brand able to stop the push for now. And there we go, a very nice splat with the Inkzuka, the Trizuka, I should say. And maybe that's something NoName brand can work with. They really need to find a way to press up and get all these splats they need, because they're really having difficulty just getting out of their own base yet again.
It's going to be so difficult doing that when the tactical reduces your respawn time by so much. But Yeah, they did. They also have to get past that first checkpoint too. So the Rainmaker's not being very unforgiving to them.
Yeah, but it seems like that first checkpoint's not too crazy far from mid. The question is, can you get past that first checkpoint, get all these splats? But right now, you only got the splatter shot left alive to deal with this one. And a very nice play right there by Ice to keep this set going, being in a 1v4 situation and getting the splat on the Rainmaker that they need. But once again, Jet able to pick up the Rainmaker, add to their lead. Can this be the KO and ending the set right here? And it looks like the answer is yes. The Boomers win 3-0.
Very good effort by the Boomers. Definitely showing up with the aggression.
Now, did you see anything there with Hammerhead that was worse than the Splatoon 1 one? That seemed fine. Now, look, we're not doing in-depth analysis of these maps, but that one seemed fine to me.
It seemed okay.
What's the issue?
We'll find out.
We'll find out,
we'll find out. There's definitely some. There's always something with some maps. But, yeah. And something I've noticed with a lot of these maps is the objective goes very far into the enemy base, especially now that you shoot out of spawn and you have the respawn armor. It's going to be a lot more difficult to KO on these map modes.
Yeah, and again, we haven't played through all the maps. We haven't seen a lot of the Splatoon 2 maps in rotation just yet either, but we'll see more of them as the day goes on and as you people are playing at home as well.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Sturgeon Shipyard, Wahoo World, and Mako Mart seem to be unchanged. I would assume all of them are unchanged. So they've only kind of touched up the Splat 1 map.
There's a few little touches here and there,
Okay.
especially Art Academy, Rainmaker.
Okay.
Going through there. Now, on the topic of maps, of course, at some point, there will be a map list change. So we don't really know what the actual competitive maps are going to be going forward. So, but at this point, it's just kind of a thing where we just play every map that we can, get a feel for them. You don't want to just, oh, well, Wahoo World was banned in Splatoon 2, we should automatically ban it now. No, let's try it out for a little bit first and see what happens with that.
And yeah, especially early on in this game, we only have 12 maps, so it's not that many maps. Let's just kind of see what's going on here. And as they add more and more maps throughout the game's lifespan, we can kind of start narrowing it down.
And I believe we were told it's now play all three.
It is now best of 3. So there was a mistake in the format where we thought it was play all 3, but now going on, the sets will be best.
So the first team to win 2.
You got some we got some bonus content. Can't complain too hard.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we wanted to see Hammerhead Rainmaker. That's all we're here. That's literally all
we
we're
wanted to see. Everyone at home's playing this game.
Well, that's all. Look, this is my first experience with this. Okay, I'm stuck here for the weekend, so this is
stuck here with me.
Stuck here with you and a lot of other cool people. We assume, unless they're not.
I'll say odd.
So since we played extra, I'm assuming the other sets were done and we were getting through that.
We're definitely delaying, especially with a little bit of a stream delay. So,
hey, that's
sorry, Tios.
No, that's fine. We got stuff to delay with. Remember?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the arcade. We're going to give you guys some information about some other stuff that's going on in the Smash scene, starting with the Arcadian, I think just the Arcadian. Papa John's is offering unranked Smash Ultimate players the opportunity to compete for a $50,000 prize pool, and the top 12 from online qualifiers will win paid trips to Main Stage 2022. Visit thearcadian.gg for more information and to register for free today. $50,000 prize pool. I'll sign up for that.
You'll sign up? You'll give it a shot?
I'll give it a shot. Yes, if that's.
Listen, I personally follow a little bit of Smash. As far as I know, that's big. That's big money. And if you're in the Splatoon community, that's very big money.
I follow the Splatoon community. That's pretty big there as well. Yikes, my goodness. And this is for unranked Smash players. So this is dare I say, the equivalent of Splatoon's low ink, maybe?
Maybe. Seems like they ban a good chunk of players to give the fresher faces a better look. But hey, let's talk about Low Ink for a minute. Low Ink is a monthly 2-day Splatoon event for newer and lower level players run by Inkling Performance Labs. And me and Popgun run it. We run this event, so if you like what you're seeing and you want to get into competitive Splatoon 3, this is an excellent place to start. So go ahead and check out our website, lowink.iplabs.inc, and It has all the info you need to know on how to register, get into the Splatoon scene, and pretty much any question you might have is probably found on that website. So definitely check it out.
Now, we're assuming there are some people watching this just going on Twitch and looking at the Splatoon 3 category and being confused as to what you are seeing. But hey, maybe you're interested in competitive Splatoon. Lowink is a good place to start out. We should know. We run it. JPEG literally created the slide that you just saw. We are constantly yelling at people in help desk. We're verifying all the players. It's our baby. We didn't create it, but we adopted it, and it's the place for you. If you want to get into competitive, you want to sign up for it and get your feet wet there, and you want to do that this upcoming next weekend. So you want to sign up today. Yes, if you have a copy of Splatoon 3, you too could be playing in the tournament and experiencing all the joys with that. Joys. Quotation marks with that.
We'll see.
Do we have a $50,000 prize pool?
We could.
We could
With
if you donate.
Support from you.
Yeah.
No, that's not happening.
We're gonna need some hefty donations to get up there. But yeah, just thinking about Lowink, it's like we don't even know what the maps are gonna be for that.
Right. We talked about it, but it's nothing public yet. I think we have a good idea. I think right now here, what we're watching is kind of going to determine what we see next weekend.
It's going to help kind of shape what it's going to look like. But yeah, that's what's so weird to me is wrapping my head around thinking there is going to be a Lowink, not just next weekend because I haven't even been thinking about it, but that we're also going to be playing a completely different game that we just got today.
Right.
So we're going to take a little bit of a break while we wait for the next set to come around. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with more Splatoon 3 action.